Did you guys know some of the top Frentech accounts are earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in trading fees? Just taking a look at some of the whales like CBB, he is currently trading at 5.96 ETH per key. This guy has raked in about 127 ETH in trading fees. This is over $250,000. You also have some other accounts that are considered middle cap, like OX5F, who's earned 59 ETH in trading fees. It translates into over $100,000. Then you also have OX Captain Levy. He's earned 118 ETH in trading fees. This is also over $200,000. And all of this ETH and all of this money that has been earned is in as little as about 1 month. If you extend that out to the rest of the year, you can basically say this guy is going to earn several $1,000,000 off of Frentech. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how in the world do I get to that 4, 5, 6 ETH valuation on my key in order to get those different trading fees? Well, that's what this video is about. I'm going to show you guys how to grow your Frentech key from 0 to 5, 6, 7 ETH. I'm going to show you guys the different strategies that the whales use. And I'm also going to show you guys the strategies that I use in order to grow my key from 0 to currently at 0.42 ETH. So the very first stage is growing your key from 0.001 ETH to about 0.1 ETH. That 0.1 ETH is a pretty big milestone. Some of those things could be, one, going on Twitter Spaces, being active on those spaces, sharing your thoughts, asking good questions, being on the spaces, and getting your name out there. You can also do this in real life. You can talk to people about Frentech and say, hey, are you on Frentech? Why are you not on Frentech? And bring them over. Typically, when you bring someone on board and they get a good experience, they have a feeling of reciprocity and they want to purchase your key as a thank you. You can also simply just get your name out there on Twitter by writing Twitter threads or going on Reddit and just bringing value in different ways. You can even do this on the likes of YouTube or even on TikTok and teaching other people about the platform. Now, at this level, you don't necessarily have to bring value like, hey, you buy my key, this happens. But at this stage, you should still at least be considering and thinking what you're going to do as your value proposition. But again, the goal of this stage is simply just getting your name out there. You can also do this in private DMs by buying other people's keys and being like, bro, I'm planning on grinding and this is what I'm going to do in my Frentech chat. And that way you're getting your name out there. People have an idea. They know who you are. And if you aren't telling anyone what you're doing and getting your name out there, how in the world are you going to expect them to buy you? A good example of this is Scooter on Twitter. You can see his trading, it's almost 0.1 ETH. But basically this guy, what he'll do is he'll go on Twitter, he'll do a lot of meme posts, and in real life, he'll be like, yo, buy a Scooter key because I'm cool type of thing. He makes funny tweets, he makes a lot of funny tweets. So this guy's a memer and he does a really good job grinding and getting his name out there. Another example is Tweeter Nate. Tweeter Nate is starting to enter into the second phase of the Frentech grind, but Tweeter Nate does a really good job getting his name out there. He's bringing value in different ways, and as you can see here, he is constantly grinding it out, as well as dropping different Twitter threads that is bringing value and also putting his name on the map. I'll also drop a link in the description below to this Twitter thread so you guys can see a couple of the different names that are great examples of someone to follow if you're growing from the 0.001 ETH to 0.1 ETH level. You got the Boat's Finest, you got Jambon Burir, you got Jerry Mander, Sandwich Punch. All these different guys are working to get their name out there. They're being the reply guys on Twitter, dropping Twitter threads, and simply getting their name out there. The next stage is the 0.1 ETH to 0.5 ETH stage. I would actually lower this maybe to about the 0.1 to 0.4 ETH stage. At this stage, it becomes a little bit harder to find your next incremental buyer. The reason for this is once people are starting to shell out a couple $100 in order to buy your key, there has to be some form of value proposition, or there must be some reason they are buying into your key. This could be in the form of 3-3. Yes, that is a value proposition, which is you buy my key, I buy your key, we all hold. That is somewhat of a value proposition as long as everyone holds that trust and keeps that bond. The second is access to some form of giveaway or access to some form of service. There are many examples of this, but some of them is like Nick Dracon, access to his Revelo Intel for just holding one of his keys, or access to some sort of trading tool on Friendtech that makes the experience better, or even simply just some form of giveaway. Like you hold my key and you get access to a giveaway every single day or every other day. For example, in my Friendtech group, I do a Discord giveaway once every week. So if you guys are wanting to participate in that giveaway, in addition to the other value propositions in my group, you guys can join that. We'll be doing one this weekend. And whenever you watch this video, it's always the next weekend. Another value proposition is daily recaps. So if you are like, okay, well, this is what happened in Friendtech this week, or hey, this is what I'm looking at in DeFi. It just has to be a different value proposition or a reason for someone to buy your key. It's no longer getting your name out there. There has to be some form of value proposition or some reason to buy it. People are willing to put out, I don't know, $50, $70, whatever, just kind of like, hey, it's cool, you're my buddy, whatever. But once it gets to a couple $100, then it's like, okay, what is your actual value proposition and what are you actually doing? Now, also one other thing to keep in mind at this level. When you are getting members in your Friendtech group, you want to be active in your chats. You have to be active every single day. If you do take some time off, make sure you let your group know. But at this point in this stage, you don't have to be dropping bangers in your chat every day. You can still drop the occasional GM, but it's good to at least drop a really good, well thought out piece, maybe every 4, maybe every 3 days, and sharing that information with your group. At this level, people are spending a couple of $100, and if there is no value proposition and people don't feel they are getting the value, even though you bring them in, it doesn't mean they will stay. Retention is key in the Friendtech game. You can do all this building and all this grinding, but if you don't retain those new friends and those new connections, they will quickly go away, and you will constantly have to battle with that. As people buy, other people are selling. Yes, some people are going to sell. Don't get discouraged from that, but just keep grinding, hold your value proposition, and keep dropping the alpha. So in summary, for stage 2, as you're starting to climb higher and higher in ETH price, it will be harder and harder to obtain more keys. You want to focus on chat engagement and activity at this stage. You also want to focus on holder retention. You want to focus on your value proposition, as well as the beginning stages of networking. At this stage, instead of just like the cold, hey, what's up, bro? Check out my Friendtech key. Instead, it's like, hey, how can I help you? This is what I'm doing. Is there a way we can collab and bring a network effect together? This is something you want to start to do. Here are several different examples you guys can check out. And if you check these guys out on Twitter, they are active on Spaces. They are active in their Friendtech chats. They are active on Twitter threads. They are constantly engaging. This isn't going to be like the random dude who's like, oh, Friendtech, cool. This is going to be the guy that is dropping alpha, bringing Friendtech threads, and putting in the grind. Now at the next level, you're going to be going from, I would call it 0.4, maybe 0.5 ETH to 1 ETH. At this stage, you need to have found your niche that separates you apart from the crowd and that you're known for. So this is something people can join in your room, get a solid take on that particular topic, and you're constantly grinding it out. At this stage, you want to be really good at networking and bold enough to share your own opinions. Trading in this range, you're kind of considered a KOL for Friendtech at this point, and your chat activity needs to be on point at this level, and you need to be active every single day, dropping more bangers than the previous phase. People are spending several $100s and some even over $1,000 to get into your group. At this stage, they want to be able to feel like, hey, this is worth it. I received this value. You don't want to simply leave your holders hanging and not even be active in that chat. But here are some other examples you can check out. QuantByte, for example, if you go on his Twitter, he is extremely active and he is adamant about Friendtech. You can literally scroll through all of his stuff. He is constantly talking about Friendtech. This guy is dropping the alpha and he is also invested in the platform. This is one of the other things you need to understand at this stage. You are going to start to have to invest more into the platform. Currently, QuantBike has about 101 ETH in his portfolio. Once you're getting past that 0.4 to 0.5 ETH level, it's really hard to get that next incremental buyer. So what you would need to do is make these 3-3 bonds with other whales. So as you can see here, he has a 95% 3-3 score, which is extremely good. This means he makes a bond with someone and someone makes a bond with him. They typically hold that bond and they aren't selling. One guy buys, they buy, they hold the bond, and it's basically what's locking in that next incremental holder. You can see here OX5Eth. This guy has almost 100% 3-3 ratio, hence why his value is at 3.4 ETH. And if you scroll through, you can see all the guys who are trading above 2 ETH usually have about a 95% or over a 90% 3-3 ratio. It just depends on if there were any defections and so on. And if you want to learn a little more about the 3-3s and defections, etc., you can check out some of the previous videos I made on Friendtech. The next stage is going to be from 1 ETH to 3 ETH. At this stage, you need to be a master of networking and talking with people. This is going to be the stage to where it's like you've honed in on your niche and you have driven the most value to it. An example is Dragos. People look at him like, oh, that's a spaces guy. He holds the best spaces, at least in my opinion, centered around the points drop. Then you have OX Bread, which he's the dude who is basically the master of 3-3 and dropping those awesome dashboards. Or you simply have Crypto Yield Info. He is also a big 3-3er, but he drops some banger, I'm talking banger tweets on his Twitter account. And I'm sure the same goes for his Friendtech group. Then you even have something simply like Kobe, which most people know he's an OG in the crypto space. Sure, he's not active on Friendtech, but he is doing his thing and he's earned his stars and his stripes on Twitter. So typically these guys have a really strong presence in the crypto space and they have a lot of capital to exercise the 3-3s and they have that niche that they've honed in on and they're well known for it. So here's a snapshot of OX Bread. I'm actually using his dashboard that he created. This is basically like the CoinGecko / DeFi Llama for Friendtech. But basically it shares like his earned fees, how they are as a 3-3er, etc. So you guys can make informed decisions. But you can see here he's earned about $50,000 in trading fees just from the value proposition he has given. You can also see he's pretty heavily invested as well, being a 3-3er. But at this stage, you're going to have to invest into the platform in order to grow your key. The same goes for Dragos. He's a really good host on Spaces, but you can see here that he is also heavily invested into the Friendtech platform. Now, last but not least is the last stage, which is 3+ ETH. This is going to be something that is like you either provide some form of disruptive product or service, or a first mover in a particular niche or meta, especially centered around Friendtech. And these guys are typically the early adopters on Friendtech. So these are like sought after thought leaders or simply just have deep pockets to 3-3, and they can also buy back their shares. There has to be some form of distinguishing factor. An example of one is Haro. He was basically the first Friendtech chat aggregator. So if you couldn't get into Kobe's room, Ansem's room, Vombatis, Racer, etc., if you couldn't get into their rooms, all you had to do was buy his keys, and you can see what was simply going on in every single person's room. You also have OX Captain Levy. He is basically considered the Mr. Beast of Friendtech. He's trying to get his name out there, network with a lot of people, and buy up a lot of the cheap keys and create these different relationships with all these other creators. He's heavily invested into the Friendtech platform. If you check out his portfolio value, this dude has over 697 ETH invested into the platform. He also has the most earned points on the platform. So basically that's his type of niche, and he is also planning on sharing some of the airdrop points with some of his key holders. Then you also got like Dingaling. He is a huge NFT dude, or Maki Big Brother, early investor in the Bored Ape Yacht Club. You got Vambatis. He's basically considered the quote unquote stablecoin on the Frentech platform. And then you got like OX5F, which he drops really good information on Frentech in general. And then you also got CVB, who is basically creating a very novel way to launch your key in order to not get botted. And he's actually a legend on it. He is also one of the very successful Blur farmers building some of the bots around that. So in summary, depending on what stage you are at, there's always room for growth. If you're looking to grow your Frentech account, look for 5 different things. The first is going to be networking. Second is creativity. Third is your value proposition. Fourth is your introspection. And fifth is your holder retention. I really want to stress the holder retention, because if you spend all this time and networking effort in order to bring them in and you aren't able to retain them, you are basically doing this for nothing. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys received any value from this video, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm looking to get 200 likes on this video. And if you guys are looking to grind on Frentech, make sure you go through this full video and check out the threads and implement those stages. If you ever reach any hiccups, feel free to DM me or reach out to me. I will be your personal coach and I will help you out with that. And also, if you guys want to join my Frentech room as well, I'm looking to inspire others to put in the grind, coach others in order to grow their Frentech room, as well as giving different value propositions like my thoughts on the market, as well as sharing other alpha calls and information in the group. As always, guys, let's go ahead and hit you guys with a wisdom one-liner. Proverbs chapter 15 verses 17. A hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. Be good, be patient. Peace.